Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another Diecast review, our first of the next-gen era real cars. Obviously, we've taken a look so far at the test cars in both ARC and Elite, but now it's time for the real deal to show up, and we've got Kevin Harvick's 2022 Busch Light Ford Mustang for the 2022 season. Fingers crossed, this doesn't blow up on Saturday at Bristol because he's already had a tough first round, but we will find out Saturday night at Bristol. That's right, I will be there. That's where all the videos you're going to watch for the next 3, 4, 5 days are all getting recorded in one caffeine raging filled night. So, let's go ahead and dig into the diecast itself. Obviously, we're going to start with our box here. So that's the design. We talked about it earlier, not a fan, because if you try to say, oh, I don't know, do something silly like, I don't know, stack them. No, just stack them like normal. No, stack them like a normal person. Okay, you get the point. So that's a problem. But I don't know. Outside of that, that's not just the only thing. Obviously, stacking is a big deal. The lack of artwork. I mean, this doesn't say anything about Kevin Harvick on it. It just says Lionel Next Gen Cup Series car. And then right here it says Kevin Harvick, Busch Light Beer Mustang, there we go. Now you can read it better. Busch Light Beer 2022 Mustang, one of 1,020. Lionel Racing, Next Gen, it's all very generic. The box has no individual artwork, which, again, I can get on board with. Like, the Elites haven't had individual artwork forever, but they don't stack. So, like I said, we've done this before. We're going to talk about it just today, maybe the first couple reviews, but after that, we're going to kind of get off the box topic because it is what it is. If it changes, great. If not, we're going to have to live with it. So, that's just what they have. All right, so that's our box. Let's go ahead and get a little bit closer. Nice and close to the diecast. All right. So it is an ARC, and what does that mean? It means it only has the opening hood and no opening trunk. And it has a very plastic base. This is the, the diffuser. Now on the Elite, the diffuser is removable. So you actually see there's a couple extra holes, and you can unscrew them, and the diffuser pops out, and then you can actually see some more components for suspension. That is not the case on the ARC. You can actually hear it kind of echoing, like dinging like a bell, but it is very light. You do have posable wheels, which is nice, so there are a couple of pretty good components, but for the most part, underneath that diffuser, no detail. But as you can see, let's start here on our left side. So here's our Goodyear Eagle. You can see we do have the spokes in the rim. You can see the brake rotor inside. Exhaust port right here underneath the number. Looks okay. Got our number 4. We got Busch Light, and then we got Busch. No, just shh. Doesn't have an A at the end. We got Mobile 1. We've got Subway, Hunt Brothers Pizza Pristine Auction, and the ethanol ring back here. You can see I really like the color. This metallic blue and metallic silver combination looks really good for the mountains of Busch. You can see the rear wheel here. You can see the brake rotor on the inside, and then just kind of the way the external rim shows up. You can see how thick the tires are. They look just a little bit thicker than the tires did last year. So a little bit wider. Got Kevin Harvick on the name rail, and then we have our big fat window net there. We got our rear window there. You can see on the roof, we got number 4. We got a camera here and a camera here. 2 opening roof flaps right there. But honestly, the roof looks pretty good. Decals are nice and tight. Looks real crisp. A real solid looking finish. On the back, you can see our diffuser showing up back here. You can see the Ford license plate. You got Busch Light. Big, tall spoiler. This, I think, eventually will get shortened up, thank goodness, because this spoiler is way too tall. And I heard they were going to look at shortening it. So fingers crossed they get this shortened up because it is way too tall. It should honestly look a lot more like, frankly, the spoilers we had for the last, 3 years in the Cup cars, with those little clear tips on them, and they only were, roughly 6 inches tall in terms of 6 inches of actual height. Obviously on the diecast it's not even a quarter of an inch, but this way too tall back here. But like I said, this was also founded on the idea that they were going to run these big tall spoilers on all these cars, and they made a late season rule change. Probably honestly saved the racing this year because it would have been so much worse if they had that tall of a spoiler on this car all season long. Just would have had aero push galore. So you see we got Busch back here. We got Pristine Auction again. I did mention the Ford Mustang taillights. No opening deck lid, so it just closed there. But the color still looks nice. DIN number is 33, which is kind of ironic. Harvick ran that number a lot. We got Harvick on the rear window. And down the right side, everything looks the same. You can see the exhaust up here towards the front. Got our number 4 up here as well. Going to the nose, you can see we got our Ford Mustang front end here in that nice metallic blue going on. You can see we got Busch light there on the hood. You also can see, it's hard to see, but you see we got that raised middle portion of the splitter. That's just the design that they have for the next gen car. We got Harvick, the air inlet, and the Ford logo up there on the front windshield. Let's go ahead and pop the hood open. I like to tip it upside down. The hood is literally shaped like a rectangle. That's the hood. So a really weird shape for the hood, honestly. It looks very square. But there's our engine detail. Honestly, I'm a little impressed. I shouldn't say impressed. I'm not as disappointed. I thought this was going to be a much more plain and kind of annoying car. The air inlets I could definitely use a little more detail on. The blue valve cover with the silver plug wires, I definitely like that. The radiator over here would be nice if they could get that to be silver. And just basically whatever they can do to add a little more detail. Frankly, because the engine is lacking so much, I wouldn't mind some braces and tethers to stick back and forth, you know. Let's bring a little detail back. I'm okay with that. But yeah, otherwise not. You can see we got the Stewart Haas sponsors under there, but it is definitely lacking a little bit on that engine. You can see, you can't even see through the bottom, so really tough to see any of that detail that does exist through there. So it's a little tough to get to see it all. But overall, the ARC is what it is. I'm a fan of the Elite, always have been. I think, though, I will say, this is the first generation where I can't tell the difference between an ARC and an Elite just by staring at it. I have to hold it and feel the weight difference. I used to be able to visually see the difference from any of those cars. This is the first one I really don't see that much. So if you're not a huge... I don't know what I want to say fan, but if it doesn't bother you that the diecast is lighter and that it doesn't have that opening deck lid or that suspension that moves, then I think the ARCs are honestly a good way to go now, just with the cost of all these cars and how expensive they've gotten. Obviously, I'm a fan of having that heavier car with the working suspension, and you know, the trunk opening is a little of it, but really it's the suspension, being able to lower the car a little bit lower to the ground, and then also usually the cab detail is better. So this one I would still get a few Elites for sure, but definitely I could see myself picking up a lot more ARCs for non-special race wins. So I think this version of the ARC is a lot closer to the Elite in this new car than it was in the previous car. So as far as justifying that price difference, I think it's a little bit closer in this car than it was before. But anyway, guys, that'll really wrap up this review. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, turn on the bell and subscribe for more Diecast content. We got a lot coming out this weekend. It is Bristol weekend, so we got tons of content getting recorded ahead of time so that I can go to Bristol and go wild. So thanks for watching, guys. This has been Race Craze, and we will see you in the next Diecast review.